Shalom Israel, first and foremost, I do want to give all praises, all honor, all glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shah Ba'ashem Krakadash, the born to the apostles, and those great millstone for teaching us this true peace and blessings to the whole of Israel. Yahweh is the name of the Father and Hebrew, Ba'ashem is the name, Yahweh Shah is the name of the begotten Son. Background lesson, today we're going to go into this article, which you see right here in the background, where it says the U.S. offers up to $50,000 bonus for would-be ICE deportation officers. So pretty much they're using this as a what's the word I'm looking for? Incentive to pretty much go out and hunt Jake. And another thought that came to mind, imagine when this comes to the prophets, to the men of the Lord. You can imagine the things that this devil's going to promote. Saying if you see these men on the highways and byways, alert the police, or whatever the case may be. And that's one of the thoughts that came to mind, because you've seen this right here where they're offering up $50,000, using it as incentive for people to pretty much catch Jake, to offer them up. See right here, ICE hopes to hire 10,000 new personnel to help bolster the Trump administration deportation drive. So I just thought I'd put that out there. Just thought that came to mind. We're going to have this devil, especially be targeting us, which you already see the various changes they're doing to the algorithm, making it harder for us to speak on certain things, especially with, getting out to the highways and byways, which you see over there in, I want to say, Canada. If not, it was another location where they went to pretty much jail people for, speaking on the Bible in public. So it's going to show the type of times we're coming into, and especially what this could also, what's going to lead up to. But once I started bringing that up, it was just a thought. Let's read a bit into this and get a couple scriptures, and now pretty much the point. Now it says U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, is offering recruitment bonuses for up to $50,000 and student loan help to brave and heroic Americans. So making it seem like you are a hero, that you're going to save Babylon, that you're doing good. Because Americans interested in helping with the Trump administration deportation drive. So you're going to see these people, especially these Edomites, this hatred this devil has for us is going to especially show. And you're going to have a lot of these Edomites, especially, joining up, wanting to take down Jake. Because this is not only, dealing with Issachar, you're also going to have all the tribes be affected, be targeted, which you saw a while back, where, it hit Gad, then it hit Issachar, and it also hit the southern kingdom, the Haitians, which dealing with the tribe of Benjamin, I believe. Which, southern kingdom consists of, Judah, Benjamin, Levi. So once it's not only going to hit the northern kingdom, but also the southern. So all the tribes are going to be affected and be targeted as a whole. And you best believe this devil is going to be jumping at this offer to get their hands on Jake and be justified in doing something, being paid for it. The agents especially hoping to recruit deportation officers along with attorneys, criminal investigators, student visa adjudicators, and other roles. And I'll read the last two. And total, ICE hopes to add 10,000 new personnel, doubling the agency's headcount as it ramps up deportation across the country. The funding for the recruitment drive comes from approximately $165 billion allocated for the Department of Homeland Security and Donald Trump's sweeping tax and spending bill. So we're going to get scripts at hand. Further going to show the type of times we're coming into. We're heading to the time of Jacob's trouble. And you already see what this devil Trump, this cruel Lord, is doing. All these troops being sent out to these various states and pretty much wanting to crack down on Jake, which our people is always the target. And you see the blame always being shifted on Jake. And I remember going back to when the 19, going back to year 2020, when that originally kicked off, it started with Moab, which is the Chinese. And what they did, the finger was pointed at them. And you had somehow the finger be pointed at Jake. Somehow we're to blame. But this is Jeremiah 37. It's the last 3 days, great, so others like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. And we're coming to that time, the time of our trouble. Now it says, but he shall be saved out of that. And who's that he can be saved out of? The 1/3, the elect, which you hope and pray that we're a part of the Lord's will. But that Jacob's trouble is coming. And as you know, Jacob got his name changed to Israel. After us was an angel. So, speaking of the Israelites, the time of our trouble, really specifically for the wicked of our people, but those in his faith and his truth, we're going to try and we test it also. But you see, the devil's getting ready to crack down. Revelation 12:12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is coming down to you having great wrath. So he's going to come down with that great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. So he knows his time is running out. So that's why you see very soon the devil going to say, F it. And bring that hammer down. He's going to show his true colors. He's going to show his horns and why he's called the devil. He's getting ready to crash out. Which I thought was going to... Which I'll try to make it, let's go into that. That was a title that came to mind. That was, pretty much, sitting there. That I was thinking about. Thought I'd make a lesson dive into that too. So, those will get into that. As Isaiah 59:19, that says, so shall they feel the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. He's coming out as a flood. And you would kind of see a little bit of examples dealing with these troops being sent out, especially coming down to these hoods where Jake mostly resides, because Jake is the target. Now, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a stand against him, and especially have this devil come for us, those in his truth, because we're the main ones prophesying the downfall of the devil's kingdom, exposing who he really is, and what the Lord is getting ready to do. But further going to show why that power, that spiritual power, is going to be needed, and why that stand is going to be lifted against our enemies. Because they come into the last days, you're going to have this devil blowing at all stops. Robots, super soldiers, these Iron Man-like suits of armor. So that power is very well going to be needed, man. And the Lord's will work with that number of all his men to receive it, how willing. But 2 Timothy 3:1, it says this, now also in the last days perilous times shall it come. So terrible times are fastly approaching. Things are progressively getting worse. And you can, matter of fact, in the scripture, how it says we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So nothing can fix Babylon. There is no remedy. One more time from on top of this, now also in the last days perilous times shall come. So terrible times are fastly approaching, man. This is Psalms 83 and 3-5. Going to show how these nations are against us, and why they have especially tried to keep us under for so long. Because you also have these heathen nations reaping off the benefits of this devil's kingdom. That's why you see Ishmael also doing so well. But it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people. See what if I missed the verse or not. Yeah, back to Bash Mashai. We start with the first verse. As they keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, O God. As for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Tumult. If I'm saying that correctly. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. As they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So you have these nations come together to go against us. So also these other heathen nations are going to pay for the crimes and atrocities that they've also committed, because they played a role in the captivity nation of Israel. So though everything is suffering under Esau's rule, that doesn't excuse the things that they did. Once they deal with these heathen nations, they're going to pay for everything that they've done also. And go into captivity, being put into chains for things that they have done. But let's continue on. Now let's see. Verse 5. As for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. So they have came together, they are in agreement to go against it, to keep us under. As is the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarians and Listoff, these heathens, man, these are our enemies. You can travel to various lands, and these these heathens don't like you one bit, man. I remember seeing one particular video where you had these Jakes that were traveling abroad, playing basketball. And you had a bunch of these Moabites, these Chinese, or may have been Ammonites. Either way, same thing. Which Ammonites are, Japanese. But going into that point, they were, calling Jake, the N-word, all these various things. Which I already got this. Okay, it's gone. Now look at the last scripture right here. This is Psalms 64:2. Closing scripture, as well as getting ready to close out, the Day of Atonement, which, is nearing sundown. So after pretty much this lesson be posted, the Day of Atonement will be, pretty much over. This is Psalm 64:2, and it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity." And that's why it's important to be under the hedge and the protection of Yahweh Shemel Shai, because you see the things the devil's getting ready to do and come down with this great wrath. And Jake is going to be the main target. Especially for those that want to rebel and go against the Lord. In scripture, and I want to say first from the 2 Peter, going to judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. So it's going to start with our people. But, the point was made. So one of the elders, speaking on this, which I saw it actually a couple of days ago, done with one of the articles. And, I made that point where one of those thoughts came to mind where, and actually I was thinking about making a lesson going into it, where, very soon you can see pretty much, the prophets, the men of the Lord, being the next target. Made that point where if you see these men on the highways and byways, or people wearing fringes, whatever the case may be, alert the police, this and that, you could see, where this will lead up to. But the point was made. Lord's will was edifying to close out. Give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shem Kakadash Shalom. See you next one. Lord's will.